everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Robbie Crager, the Flip Flop Flipper, and we are going to talk about our guest house in Luquillo, Puerto Rico, and we're going to go through what it is, where it is, and why we're talking about it. Guys, every year as a real estate investor, we own a portfolio of properties in both Florida and in Puerto Rico. And at the end of each year, we look back on the year and we see, hey, what's working for us? Let's do more of that. What's not working for us? Let's do less of that. Usually what happens is there are some things that we've decided to move on from. And in this case, our loss is your gain. Luquillo, Puerto Rico is an amazing town just east of San Juan. And we originally thought that we were going to invest tons and tons of money and effort in this town of Luquillo. And so we bought our first property there, and it turned out to be this amazing and special property called the Surfing Turtle. It's literally 1 block from the beach, all of the good restaurants, the jazz club, we've got mountains, we've got rivers. I mean, everything that you can imagine that's fun to do on the east side of the island of Puerto Rico is here for you, just minutes from the doorstep of the Surfing Turtle. And so why are we selling it? Here, I'm going to give you kind of pull back the curtains again. I like to do this. I want you to see in the mind of a real estate investor, and these are real life experiences that we're having. Our investment thesis has changed over the years. We've been on the island now for 6 years, and this is one of the first properties that we bought. This is actually the first guest house we put together on the island of Puerto Rico. So that meant it was the first time that we used the tourism play. So it was an Act 74, which is now called Act 60. We bought this distressed property. We renovated it into something that's super special, and we will leave links. We're going to invite you before the end of the video to come and stay with us. We're going to invite you, if you are in the mood for coming and buying something to renovate and owning a guest house hotel, this video is for you. So we renovated this 7-room guest house hotel from what was a slumlord's 4-unit. There was really nobody living there. I'm calling him a slumlord because the place was completely distressed, but he really wasn't a slumlord. He just had a vacant building. So we bought this vacant 4-family house and we turned it into a 7-unit hotel using Act 74 tourism tax credits, which, by the way, we'll pass on to you. So the tax credits, they're gone, but there's several other portions of Act 74 that come with the property. So this is a very cool sort of addition to just buying an operating guest house that's cash flowing. So let's go through what we've got here. We have 7 rooms. A couple of them we call our King Suites are up on the 2nd floor, and we've got ocean views. We've got some communal space up there where people can sit out on a swing or sit out at the picnic tables, and you can just get a great vibe and feel. It's a nice little place to have a relaxing weekend, to take the family. Maybe you come in to Puerto Rico and you want to stay a couple of days after a cruise. You cruise out of San Juan and back to San Juan and then come stay at the Surfing Turtle for a few days afterwards so that you can see the island and really experience. Or you fly in before your cruise and do the same thing. But that's what this idea of this property was, and that's really what it's turned out to be. So we get a nice healthy mix of local tourists, people who are coming from the west side of the island who want to visit family and friends on the east side. We've got an amazing place for people to stay, and people who are coming from the States and want to really experience the island of Puerto Rico. And let me tell you, if you're going to come to the Caribbean, Puerto Rico's got so much to offer. I believe, and I'm a little bit biased having lived here for 6 years, I believe that the island of Puerto Rico is absolutely hands down the best Caribbean island that exists. And we've got rains, and we've got mountains and rivers, and we've got 3,000 beaches. We've got surfing and sailing and snorkeling. Oh my, right? Like, it's just paradise. Let me tell you about Luquillo, Puerto Rico, because Luquillo, Puerto Rico, when we first visited, we fell in love. We thought this is like this little beach town, sits at the foothill of the mountains that go into El Yunque, which is the rainforest, and the beaches are some of the prettiest that exist on the island. I think as far as East Coast beaches, Luquillo Beach, La Pared, might be the very best beach that exists out east here. It's really a sight to see. It's a very fun town. And when we bought this place, there was really nothing around us. There were no restaurants. There were no other people doing Airbnb stuff. There were no other hotels. And now we're fast forward 5 years, we're down the road, and we've been operating this thing for 3.5 years so far. There are several restaurants that have opened up right around us. There's a nice little coffee shop right across the street. There are other people who have bought buildings that are very near us across the street and to the side that they've turned into Airbnb units. And so this town is really thriving. I can remember when we first came to La Pared, all of the houses that sort of faced the beach, many of them were distressed. And over the last 5 years, we've seen most of them get bought and renovated. And so I had no idea how nice these things could be. But now you leave the Surfing Turtle, you walk down to the beach, and the whole beachfront is littered with these magnificent oceanfront mansions. Wish that we had bought one or two of them. We certainly could have. And we originally thought we would do more investing in the town of Luquillo. And that's one of the reasons that we've decided to move on from this property, is that this is the only thing that we have, PR consultants, that's east of San Juan. So we were originally thinking that we were going to be heavily invested in Luquillo and that we were going to be heavily invested in Fajardo, which are two really cool towns east of San Juan, outside of the metro area. And it turned out that we ended up investing San Juan, metro area, and west. And so most of our projects that we have going now are San Juan metro area and west. And so our desire is to maybe move out west to Rincon. Therefore, this would be the only thing that would take us east of San Juan. And we're really not managing it probably as well as you could. So if you have a dream to run a guest house hotel, if you want to buy something that cash flows and you want to maybe get seller financing from us, we'd love to hear from you. You can hit me up at the flipflopflipperpr@gmail.com, and we can talk about what we're going to do here with this property. But we're going to put it on the market. We've already talked to the real estate agents. We're going to list the property and we're going to sell it. It's one of a few properties that we're going to sell on the island of Puerto Rico. This is the first time in a few years that we've sort of started the year thinking that it was a good time to sell some things. And I do think that 2024 is going to be something special of the year. So we've got these elections coming up. The economy back home seems to be headed into a soft landing. And so we've avoided in Puerto Rico this kind of setback that the rest of the states were having. And I've said on other videos that when the US gets cold, then a couple years later, Puerto Rico gets the flu. Well, in this case, I would say the states got a cold, but they've very quickly recovered. And if that's true, if they have this soft landing, then Puerto Rico is probably likely to just about take off again. We believe that we had a rocket ship economy going in from 2018, and really it's continued to rise every year since 2018. And I was expecting that if things stayed bad in the States, that it would probably pull back a little bit on the island of Puerto Rico. But now it looks like that's not going to happen. And so we think that we're about to take off again. What an amazing time. What an amazing opportunity for you, if you've been thinking about doing something like this, to come to the island of Puerto Rico and basically live your dream. Live in paradise, run a guest house. We'll be the bank. What more can I say, guys? And hey, if it's not your dream to run a guest house, but you're thinking of coming to Puerto Rico, maybe you're going to go on a cruise, or you just need a really fun place to stay, the Surfing Turtle has you covered for that as well. And if you send us email at the FlipFlopFlipperPR and ask for a discount, we'll give you a 10% discount just for watching the video and asking about coming to stay with us. We would love nothing more than to host you at the Surfing Turtle. And whether or not you want to buy the guest house from us or you want to do another deal, we'd love to be in contact with you. So subscribe, become part of the community, maybe send me an email, the FlipFlopFlipperPR@gmail.com. God bless.